Good morning, everyone. What's up? Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Today is Wednesday, August the 27th. We do have NVIDIA earnings tonight, which is going to be a main news driver for the overall markets. As for the SPY and Qs themselves, you can see SPY starting to push back up and towards your all-time high. So very close to that level. We'll talk about some charts coming into today here in a second on the major indices and the rest of the tech names here as well. Good morning. What's up, everyone? Good morning, Nontali, JT. Good morning, KO, Victor, Ryan, Monty. What's up, Under? What's up, Willie? What's up, Wayne? Boder, Martin, 50, Cinna, Caroline. What's up, Daniel? I am Paulo, Nugo. What's up, on Audrey, Robert, Eileen? What's up, True? Yeah, what's up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well. Uh, let's hop straight into the charts. We don't have any red folder news event today. The major red folder news event and the major news that we have is NVIDIA earnings tonight. And then, of course, we do have some red folder news tomorrow as well. All right. Let's first start off here on the major indices. So let's go on to the ES chart. So the ES and the NQ chart isn't as clear as the SPY and Qs chart, but basically what we had coming to yesterday was, right, kind of buyer step in 50% of Friday's range. We end up holding your Tuesday's lows. So sorry, we end up holding your Monday's lows, which was key. And then you can see on Tuesday, end up holding above this level for this nice continued pushback towards the upside. So coming into today here, the key levels that we have marked out is going to be your Monday's high. What I would like to see now is, your Friday's highs, that break above your Friday's highs for this continued push towards your all-time highs. I think we can see this a little bit better here on the SPY chart. So you can see here for the SPY, yesterday, basically we reclaimed above your low that we created here on Monday. Buyers basically stepped in off this 642.50 level, and then we end up having this nice push above, finally reclaiming later into the session above your 644. Nice retest, and now you can see we're having this nice push here in the after hours and the pre-market. So coming into today here for the SPY chart, this is actually our all-time highs, which is our 646. So what I would like to see now for the SPY, if we do want continuation, it's going to be above your all-time highs, hold above your all-time highs for this continued push towards the upside. So we'll keep an eye on this opening drive push here on SPY coming into market open above our all-time highs. If you do want to see continuation, right, either the break above, right, hold above your 646 for continuation higher. Another possible scenario now is if it just kind of consolidates right off the bat, right, drops lower, we could be looking for kind of that first dip, reclaim back above a couple key levels here as well for this push back up into our all-time high. So either way, we're going to be looking for your break above your all-time highs retest, or we're going to be looking for the trade up in towards your all-time highs, being that 646. As for another scenario that possibly could happen for the SPY that we still have to be cautious of is the potential rejection off your all-time high. So if we have this opening drive push towards the upside, it very much well could reject off of this level. So this is something to keep in mind as your 646.50, which is going to be your all-time highs here for the SPY. So we'll keep that in mind here on the SPY. That's going to be your key level coming into today. As for the ES, similar thing, it's going to be your your Friday's highs. And then if we can get above your Friday's highs, we do have some more levels towards the upside, which is now going to be your all-time highs in the actual after hours, which is going to be the 6505 here for the ES. That's the level I'd like to see the markets gravitate towards if we can get above your last Friday's highs. If we are looking at the NQ coming into today, as you can see here, key levels that we have marked out is just your low that we created here and this previous level of resistance that took out liquidity. You can see for the NQ, you can see buyers kind of defending this 23,440, and now we're right back up and towards this 23,600. So coming into this morning here, what I would like to see for the NQ, break above your 23,600 for continuation towards the upside. If we reject off this level, we're just going to come right back in between the range that we've created. So the break above now, it's going to be your Friday's highs, a hold above your Friday's highs for continuation towards the upside. If you look at the QQQ chart, this one a little bit more cleaner here as well. You can see this a little bit better. For the QQQ, key levels that we have marked out was your low that we created here on Monday. You can see buyers defended this level yesterday, and then now you can see we're just pushing back towards the upside. So next key levels here on the chart is going to be this 574. So your 574 here is your Friday's highs. This is going to be your key level to get above, hold above if you do want to see continuation towards the upside. So very similar game plan here for the QQQ along with the SPY. If we reject off this level, you want to be very cautious, but if we can have a strong push right off the bat, maintain above your Friday's highs, we could be looking for continuation towards the upside. So keep an eye out on your 574. Other levels that we can have marked out here as well is going to be this 573, which is your previous day highs, along with your Monday's highs here as well. So we can mark out this level, which is also a key level. So one of two things: break above your Friday's highs for continuation, or now it's going to be the hold above your 573 for this push up in towards your 574 and above. So that's what we have here on the SPY and the Qs and the major indices as well, where we're going to keep an eye out on your previous day highs along with your Friday's highs, which is going to be key for continuation towards the upside. I am leaning a little bit more towards the upside just based off of the SPY higher time frames. We do have this higher time frame cup and handle here. Now if you can get above, right, flat top break, basically break above, retest for continuation towards the upside. So you want to see basically confirmation, which is the break above, hold above for this continued push towards the upside. So that's what we have here for the overall indices, SPY and the Qs. Now let's go on to a few tech names that we have coming into today. As for Tesla, this is the first chart we have. Tesla just holding key levels, and we're having continuation towards the upside. You can see Friday's price action, and we have Monday's price action. Tuesday, a little bit of consolidation, nice break towards the upside. Now for Tesla, we do have clear levels above, being your 356. What I would like to see now here for Tesla is, right, the hold of your Monday's highs, retest of this level for a continuation higher. So this is scenario number one: hold above your Monday's highs for a pushback towards the upside. This would be super solid retest right off that 349, which is your Monday's highs. Another scenario that we have marked out here now as well is just going to be, right, that first kind of dip and rip for continuation towards the upside off of your previous day high. So either scenario is good. I personally like the first scenario, which would be the dip down in towards your Monday's highs. But an opening drive play is also in play as well for Tesla for this continued push back up and towards your 356. So either way, we'll be looking for Tesla continuation towards the upside. Levels, as I mentioned, 349. And now we can also mark out your previous day highs here as well, which is going to be this 351.88. So that's what we have here for Tesla coming into today. As for NVIDIA, this one has earnings. So we have NVIDIA earnings today, which is going to be the major news event for the overall markets, the semiconductors, and the rest of the names here as well, since NVIDIA is one of the leaders. This one's pushing nicely back up and towards your all-time highs actually before earnings. So as you can see, we're having kind of this pre-anticipatory run towards the upside. You can see for Monday's price action and now Tuesday's price action here as well. You can see multiple reactions off of this 182. What I would like to see now for NVIDIA is a potential retest of your 182 for this push up and towards your 184. So this is a scenario that we could be looking for. Today, obviously, I'm not interested in trading NVIDIA today just because the IV is going to be fairly elevated. But if you're looking at NVIDIA, or if you maybe already have a pre-existing position, or maybe you're trading shares, right, you could be looking for the hold of your 182 for this continued push back up and towards your 184. So that's going to be the key level on NVIDIA coming into today. Other levels, you can mark out your pre-market high, and they can mark out this 184. As for AMD, AMD was a name that I was interested in yesterday, but immediately rejected off of our 169. So it didn't really set up. You can see rejection right off the bat, and now we're coming right back in between the high that we created here on Monday. So coming into today here for AMD, the key levels that we have marked out, 165.50s. We have another level, which is your 168.50s. If you want to see longs, what we like to see is the break above your 168.50s. If we look for a potential bounce play, we could be looking for the buyers to step in off of your previous day lows and also your Monday's lows here as well. The best scenario is going to be above your previous day highs for this continued pushback towards the upside. So that's what we have for AMD coming into this morning. Not too much has happened. I do expect this one to consolidate a little bit more until we have NVIDIA earnings, which is going to be tonight. As for Meta, a little bit more consolidation here as well. Key levels that we have marked out is your 750. We like to see buyers step in, which as you can see, we are. And now the push back above your previous day highs for potential move back up and towards your 760. So this one's just consolidating a bit, but if you can get some buyers to step in, break above now your previous day highs, you can see this push back up and towards your 760. As for Apple, let me actually refine the chart here on this ticker. So for Apple, the key levels that we have marked out is our 226. So we have our 226, we have our 229, and we have this 230.50. So you can see for Apple coming into today, this is a very key level. You can see we have multiple touches on Monday, Friday, and also yesterday here as well. I do like Apple now if we can maintain above your previous day highs. So we had this nice push yesterday coming into close. Plus you can see some movement in the after hours in the pre-market. Now if we can hold above your 229 here on Apple, we can see this next leg towards the upside. So we'll keep an eye out on this 229 coming to today and to hold above that level here for this push up and towards your 230.50. What we don't want to see happen is kind of this push right off the bat. If we drop right off the bat, then this one's going to be a little bit more bearish and we're just going to come back in between yesterday's range. So we like to see now hold above your 229 here on Apple. As for Google, key level is still going to be this previous all-time highs, 208. We'd still like to see the reclaim back above, hold above for this continuation higher. So you can see got underneath it yesterday, another rejection. We like to see the reclaim back above that level for this continuation back up and towards this 210.50. So that's what we have here on Google. As for Amazon, you can see reclaiming back above this 225.50 here. What I would like to see now is the hold above your 228.50 for this push up in towards your Monday's highs. And now I'd also like to see the break above your Monday's highs for this push back towards upside here. So a lot of these tickers basically just kind of consolidating with the Qs here. So it's all dependent on the major indices. We do have Tesla that looks good for a continuation higher. And then also we do have NVIDIA earnings, which is tonight here as well. So for Microsoft at least, finally hit a very key level here, which is all the way back from Wednesday of the Wednesday, July the 23rd. You can see some buyers are stepping in. Now what we like to see is really the reclaim back above your 503. If you want to see continuation or a potential mean reversion, reclaim back above this level. If you're still short bias here on Microsoft, which at this point now, after this big push lower, I'd be a little bit more cautious of kind of the pop and fade off this level. And then Netflix, really not too much to talk about here as well. Okay. If you guys do have any tickers or any charts you'd like me to go over now, I will do so. Let me grab some water here as well. All right, what's up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well. All right, if you guys do have any tickers or any charts you'd like me to go over, you guys can drop them in the chat. If you guys haven't joined the watch list as well, that one's in the description below. And of course, if you guys are enjoying this so far, I appreciate if you guys drop me a like and sub. All right. Let's see. Good morning. What's up, everyone? Good morning. Let me scroll down here as well. All right. Palantir. So yeah, Palantir showing some strength here yesterday and into close here as well. Also showing some strength here in the pre-market. We're actually above its previous day highs. We're also above this key level here as well, which is your 162. So Palantir, what I like to see now is a hold above your 162 for this continuation towards upside. So that's what we'll be looking for today here on Palantir. The break, which you already got the break, now it's going to be that retest 162 for this continuation back towards upside. If we can get that hold above your 162, which currently you can see we're getting, the next key levels on Palantir is really technically all the way back up and towards your 172. So this is fairly far away. So we can kind of just mark out the middle of the range. If we can hold above your 162, there's a possibility you could see a push back up and towards your 166, 167-ish level, just because that's the middle of where we dropped from. So that's the key levels I will have for Palantir coming into today. We can also mark out this key pivot high here as well, 165.29. So retest, potential continuation right off that 162 previous day highs. RKLB. Rocket Labs, you can see this one's pushing up nicely here as well. Daily time frame is shaping up fairly nice. Key levels that we can have marked out. Number one, we have this 50 key psych level, and then we also have this earnings that we've created in from all the way back from August the 7th. So this is a very key level, which is your 46.90. You can see we have multiple touches here, previous resistance now turning into support, and we're having this nice continuation higher. So for Rocket Labs, what we like to see now is the break above your 50 key psych for this continuation higher. So we can actually mark this out, which is going to be your Monday's highs. We can drag it over to this wick, which is going to be this 50 key psych level. What we like to see for continuation, break above your 50, hold above your 50 for this continuation up and towards your Tuesday's highs and above. So that's going to be the key level here for Rocket Labs. What we don't want to see kind of pop and fade, then we're just going to come right back in between yesterday's range. So we like to see break above 50, hold above 50 for this push back towards upside. UNH, so UNH, pretty big drop yesterday coming to yesterday's close. As you can see, broke underneath key levels, 300 key side, gravitated really all the way back down in towards your key level of support, which is your 295 and this 294. So coming into today here for UNH, what we have here is going to be this 302. If you want to see some more downside, potential pop and fade is in place off this 302. If you want to see the reclaim, right, it's going to be back above your 302 hold for this push back up and towards your 306. So that's the level we have for UNH coming into today, at least on the higher time frames, right? We're still technically intact as long as you maintain above this 294 here on the higher time frames. Made money on puts in the first 5 to 15 minutes, then got eaten the rest of the day. At least right off the bat yesterday, the past two sessions, fairly neutral. There hasn't been too much within the first really 30 minutes of market open. The past two sessions, I do expect more volatility for the rest of the week now, just because we do have NVIDIA earnings. We have a bunch of red folder news. SPY's also back at all-time highs now as well. So now we can expect a lot more volatility, at least in the morning sessions, because we're closer to this Friday's range. So at least now we'll see what shapes up coming into today with NVIDIA earnings. But now I do expect a little bit more volatility with just the higher time frames plus the news that we have coming up. Good morning, SMCI. For SMCI, the key levels that we have is really this 4480. You can see we're reclaiming back above key levels, maintaining above your 4340s. Now we're coming right back up and towards this 4460s. What I would like to see, break above, hold for this continued push back towards the upside. All right, let's go on to Hood. See a few people typing Hood. The key level here now for Hood, you can see we're just in between Friday's range. So if we mark out Friday's highs and Friday's lows, we can kind of just box this in. So this is the key level here towards the upside and then towards the downside. And then for marking this week's range, you can kind of draw at this level here as well. So we have Hood. Personally, I like to see a break above your Monday's highs if you want to see continuation towards the upside. If you want to see continuation lower, it's going to be underneath your Monday's lows for a push out down in towards this 104. So we have your 104, which is your Friday's lows. We have your 111, which is going to be your Friday's highs. Currently, we're just kind of consolidating here on the higher time frames. If you do want to see any sort of pushback towards the upside right now, since we are in consolidation, it's going to be the break above your 111 hold for this pushback towards the upside. As for SoFi, this one still looks very much intact here. What I would like to see now is the reclaim back above your 26. That's going to be key. Reclaim back above this level for this continued push towards the upside. As for a few other tickers here, we do have Intel. So for Intel, we had some news not too long ago, and now you can see we're just consolidating. So we had news after this big push towards the upside, consolidation, plus news here as well. For Intel, if we're looking at this on the daily chart, this one now we have a lot of volume here as well. What we like to see is really just the base above, right, 2350. If you can base above 2350 now, right, higher lows being built, then we can see potentially the next leg towards the upside. So for Intel, we're going to have to look at this on the 1 hour chart. But key levels that we have marked out is your 2320. We have essentially your 2350 or this 24 key psych level. And then we have other levels here as well, which is primarily going to be this 2560, which is the top of the range. So for Intel, we can expect a little bit more consolidation here, right? In between your highs, in between your lows, until we're able to consolidate long enough, or now it's going to be the break above your 2560 and hold above that level. I do expect this to be a little bit more choppy in between these ranges. So that's what we have for Intel. As for a few other charts here as well, let's see, MP. That's something we can take a look at. What's your email? Email is, I should actually put that in the chat, or I'll put that in the description. For MP, the key levels that we have is your 70.50. So this is the level I wanted to see hold yesterday. You can see price broke above this level. We actually had your previous day highs here as well, but a nice opening drive play towards the upside, and then ultimately now kind of rejecting off this level and coming right back down in towards essentially the area that we broke out from. So if we look at this from a 1 hour perspective, we're kind of right back into the level that we broke down from. We can actually readjust this level here. I like this level just a little bit better where we have multiple touches. So your 69 is basically the exact level we broke out from. You can see multiple touches here. Now, this is the exact level we like to see MP hold if we want to see a continued pushback towards the upside. So we like to see buyers step in off this 69.50. If we consolidate in this area, get underneath, then potentially a reversal is in play underneath your 69.50 here. XOM. So for XOM, you can see here on the higher time frames, just a lot more consolidation. No news, no nothing's coming up here as well. The key level essentially is just your earnings high all the way back from August the 1st. So that's kind of the key level. XOM's most likely going to gravitate towards. You can see kind of buyers stepping in. So at least in the short term, we can expect this to push back up in towards this 112 level here on the higher time frames. As for OKLO, nice kind of reclaim yesterday above key levels. This one was showing some strength here in the pre-market as well. So key levels that we can have marked out is going to be your Monday's highs along with your Friday's highs of last week. Nice push up yesterday here right off the bat, and then we just kind of consolidated the rest of the day. But now for OKLO, what we like to see is one of two things, right? The bounce off your previous day lows for continuation higher, or it's primarily going to be right the break above your previous day highs for continuation higher. But so far we're about to open up in the middle of the range. I wouldn't be surprised if we have an inside bar day on this ticker coming into today. So keep that in mind if you're trading this ticker here. As for IWM, so IWM, we end up reclaiming key levels yesterday. So we have a couple key things. We have this previous retest level that we can have marked out. And then we can also mark out our 233.50. So that's the levels that we could have marked out. We have our 231.50s, and then we also have our 233.50s, which is our 15-minute down close candle. So coming into today here for IWM, what I would like to see now is just to maintain above your 233.50 for this pushback towards the upside. So we have this. And we also have your previous day highs marked out. What I would like to see as well is either the break above your previous day highs hold, or now it's going to be the hold above that 233.50 for continuation towards the upside. Okay, let's see. Let me scroll down here. Good morning, Open 5. Good morning. I'm one of your subscribers. I watch all your videos. Very good for sharing your community. Appreciate that. One item I still miss how you execute that quickly on the options contract. Do you open up brokerage on a different screen when you flat your risk on trading via execute? I trade on interactive brokers. So I have another screen and I'll use the interactive brokers TWS and I have hotkey set up. So if I click one button, then I'll be in. If I click one button, I'll be out. As for open, you can see nice continued push towards upside. We're still not able to get above this key pivot high, at least close here on the daily chart. That's going to be key. Close above your key psych level, which is going to be 5. As you can see, multiple kind of pops, right? Kind of staying heavy a little bit so far. You can see these pops are being faded into. Now for open, it's still technically staying strong, holding up close, down close candles. But what we would like to see is the break above 5, hold above 5 here on the daily chart for a continuation towards the upside. So we have this level here on the higher time frames. We also have another level which will be marked out, which is your 540. So number one, we like to see break above 5 hold, and then another scenario break above, really it's going to be this 540, which is also your previous day highs for a continuation towards the upside here as well. So that's what we have for open coming into today. Went over IWM, LLY. This one had some news yesterday, ended up holding key levels. So for LLY, we had news yesterday in the pre-market, and then we end up having this push back up and towards the gap fill that I was talking about. So as you can see, we had this gap fill back up and towards your 742. And we also got above your high that we created last week. So key levels that we have on LLY, we had your Friday's highs and we also had your Monday's highs. You can see right off the bat, opening drive play, came all the way back down, held above your Monday's highs, reclaimed, and you can see nice continuation towards the upside. And I can see gapping up here, back up and towards really this earnings key level, which is all the way back from August 6th of earlier this month. So for LLY coming into today, we kind of met its full main objective, but we do have this full gap fill that we created back from earnings. The next level, if price does want to continue higher, is going to be this 579.26. So that's key level that we have marked out. So we have your 759.29. And we also have this 742.63. So these are the key levels that we have marked out. If you want to see some upside, maintain above your previous day highs, push towards the upside. Or now it's going to be the hold above your 742.61 for this continuation higher here as well. All right. So that's what we have on IWM along with LLY. Let me scroll down here as well. The yellow bar is going across the highlights level. Did you draw them? Or no, I personally drew them out manually. Okay. Let me go over a couple more tickers here as well. For this one, energy fuels. As you can see on the higher time frames, this one is breaking towards the upside, right? We had recently now a higher time frame break, and we're continuing to push higher. So as you can see here on this ticker, reclaim back above key levels. And now we're having this really nice push towards the upside. If we're looking at its price action for this week, you can draw your Monday's highs and lows. We can draw now your previous day highs and lows. So what we like to see coming into today is, right, the hold above your key levels, right, reclaim back above your 12 for a push towards the upside, or now it's going to be the break back above your previous day highs for this continuation back towards the upside. So that's what we have for this ticker. If you do want to see continuation, the next levels is really going to be all the way back. Yeah, it's going to be all the way back from July of 2012. So this one's actually having a kind of a huge breakout here, breaking above your August, basically your 2021 and 2022 highs. Now we're breaking back above these key levels. So if you mark out these key levels, there's a good chance you have continuation here and some volume that can pick in here as well. So that's what we have for this ticker. As for a few other ones that I can go over, MSTR. I'll go over a couple more tickers here, and then I will develop my game plan once more for today, and then I will get ready for market open. So for MSTR, yeah, just a little bit more consolidation in between your Monday's highs, your last week's Friday's highs and your Friday's lows. You can see a little bit more consolidation in the first 2 days of this week, where we like to see break above 352 for continuation higher. If you want to see some downside, break underneath this 340 for a push back down in towards your 334. So that's what we have for MSTR. Yeah, we not too much to see. We do have this gap fill back towards the upside that we could potentially fill, which is back up towards this 357. All right. The Tesla trade, Powell speaking, didn't have displacement clear resistance turns to support. I'm not sure what day that was. Was it Friday? Yeah. Let's see. Friday's price action. Yeah, Friday we end up having a nice push towards the upside. This was the day, right? Reclaimed. This was solid. This was basically break and retest above your high that we created on Thursday. Either could have got in, right? We did have news, which it kind of factored in. So if you got in right before, this was more of a reclaim back above your Friday's highs. This was solid, right? Based off technicals, right? Maybe it could have went either way with news. So you might have avoided this one just before news, but based off technicals wise, it was textbook. Maybe you could have held off just because we had news at 10 a.m. All right. Okay. Let me go over my game plan and then I will get ready for market open here. So coming into today here, the game plan is for the reaction that we have off of your all-time high. So for SPY, the key levels, as I mentioned, is going to be your 746. And then the other key levels that we have marked out really is kind of just your 644. So what I personally like to see here on SPY is, right, consolidation and push up in towards your all-time highs and above. Right, so that's what I like to see on SPY coming to market open, is that push up and towards your all-time highs. For the QQQ, similar kind of thesis here, right? The key levels that I have marked out on the Qs coming into today, I can actually just get rid of this, is going to be your 574, and then we also have your 571. So fairly similar thesis here on the QQQ. I like to see some consolidation coming to market open and then a potential move up and towards your 574, which is going to be your last week's highs. So that's what I like to see coming into today here for both the SPY and the Qs. Same kind of game plan as the previous days. We'll just wait for the first kind of 10 to 15 minutes to develop. That's really going to give us some more clues on what the market wants to do coming into today. As for my main watches, it's going to be Tesla. This one, higher time frame breakout, continuing to show some strength towards the upside versus the overall market in itself. Levels that I have marked out on Tesla coming to today is number one, I have your Monday's highs along with your Tuesday's key pivot level. So potential for this retest off of your Monday's highs, which is a little bit farther away, but I wouldn't be surprised if you pull back. Another scenario is going to be, right, basically the break and retest off of your previous day highs, which is now going to be this 351.88. And then we also have another scenario, which would be the break above your pre-market and after hours highs for this continuation towards the upside. So I personally would like to see scenario either number 1 or 2 play out. This one where it breaks above your pre-market highs retest, I'm not as interested in that one, but we could also be looking for that one there as well. So we'll keep an eye out on Tesla. That's going to be the main watch coming to market open. As for NVIDIA, this one looks super solid as well, but we do have earnings today, which makes it so it's a no trade for me, just because the IV is going to be really elevated. Any trades that you do take, even if it, right, has a perfect textbook break and retest, there's a possibility that the price could even move in your favor and you couldn't make money just because the IV is going to be really high, just because we do have earnings in the after hours. So NVIDIA, no go for me today, but the key levels you'd like to see it hold is going to be this 182. As for AMD, key levels that we have marked out is going to be this 168 along with this 165. I personally would like to see now the break back above your 168 hold for this continued push back towards the upside. As for a few other tickers here, Meta key levels that we have marked out is going to be your 756 along with this 750. Similar game plan, right? Break above your previous day highs, hold for continuation higher. Apple, this one's actually breaking underneath your 229 here in the pre-market. So Apple's going to have to reclaim back above this level for me to be interested. Currently, it looks like it's just trying to pop and fade off this level for this pushback towards the downside. So really coming into today here, my main watch is primarily just going to be Tesla. I don't really see too much else in the overall market. what we're going to do is, right, focus on names that have relative strength today. We do have NVIDIA earnings tonight, which is going to be key for the overall market, right? The major indices, along with the semiconductors and the rest of the tech names. So we'll keep an eye on Tesla if it wants to have continuation. And then for the rest of the names, I'll be a little bit more cautious on. As for some other tickers, right, Palantir looks good above your 162.50. So we can also keep an eye out on that one. So really best looking names coming to market open, Palantir and Tesla for the hold above your previous day highs. And that's about it. So yeah, we'll keep that in mind. And then, right, NVIDIA earnings, right? We do expect the volatility to pick up the rest of the week just because we have some more red folder news tomorrow. We have NVIDIA earnings tonight. And that's really what the overall market's waiting for. So that's going to be it for me today. I'm going to get ready for market open here now. If you guys did enjoy that, I appreciate if you guys drop me a like and sub. If you guys haven't joined the watch list, that one is also in the description as well. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of the day, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. All right. Peace.